One of the questions that I get asked the most in my career is what game should I pick up for my brand new game system? And I know a lot of people are getting new systems over the holidays, so I thought, why don't I put together a series of videos called The First 5? Let's start with the PlayStation 4, which has had an incredible career so far. There are already murmurs of a PlayStation 5, but I know a lot of people will be picking up a brand new PS4 or PS4 Pro, and I thought the first 5 games that I would pick up would probably start with Marvel's SpiderMan, which won our Game of the Year and our PlayStation 4 Game of the Year for 2018. It's an incredible title from Insomniac, partnered with Marvel on the storytelling, and it's just so true to the property and so much fun to maneuver Spider-Man around this beautiful New York City that's been modeled and detailed for us. And it's also the incredible cast of characters that Marvel and Insomniac have littered throughout this game. It's very, very difficult to stop playing this game. It's so much fun. There's so much variety in the mission structure, and it's the storytelling and the heartfelt interpersonal relationships that will keep you coming back for more. I could say something similar for God of War, which is another title I would pick up in my first 5. God of War was developed by Sony Santa Monica, and this time they took this character that's been around since the PlayStation 2, Kratos, this god of war that is incredibly vicious and angry all the time, and they humanized him. They gave him a family. And we get to understand Kratos' motivations for being so angry, and you get to be kind of thrust in this role of a father trying to protect his son and trying to solve mysteries, about people that he cares about, and he encounters a nice cast of characters that aren't too deep. It's not like you've got, an RPG's worth of different characters that you encounter and you can't keep track of everything. You meet some really interesting and well fleshed out individuals who feature prominently in the story that's presented to us in this game, which resonates like crazy. It's an incredibly compelling and also action-packed experience from beginning to end. Absolutely sensational. Definitely pick that up in your first 5. Another one, and I'm kind of cheating here, is the Batman Arkham collection. And yes, I'm cheating here because it's 3 games in 1, but it's all of Rocksteady's Batman Arkham games, which I have adored. They're some of my favorite games of all time. It started with Batman Arkham Asylum, which was a much more contained experience. You really were just on the grounds of Arkham Asylum, and you were taking down all kinds of Batman villains who have escaped, and you run into the Joker, of course, who's got some evil plans. It was all about mechanics and really placing the player inside the cape and cowl of the Caped Crusader, and you really felt like Batman in that game. And what they did with the sequel, Batman Arkham City, is they expanded out to a full city. It's called Batman Arkham City after all, and they also got to play as Catwoman in this game, which was pretty cool, so you could switch in and out of sequences between the 2 characters. Lots of great DLC content in there, and it's all included in this collection as well. But the expanded area gave you a lot more places to explore, a lot more mysteries to solve, a lot of Riddler puzzles to pick up along the way, and lots of fantastic encounters with the incredible rogues gallery that Batman has. Now, Batman Arkham Knight was created for this console generation for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, so it's going to be the best looking of these Batman games, but it also gives you the Batmobile to drive around in, which isn't everybody's cup of tea. I happen to love it because it's one of my favorite creations of the Batmobile ever. I think it sits right up there with Christopher Nolan's Tumbler. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's just fun to drive, and it's got a couple of different mechanic systems built into it, so it's not just driving around like you would any kind of regular vehicle. You also can kind of go into tank mode, and of course there's lots of intrigue and lots of vicious attacks and lots of psychological drama in Batman Arkham Knight as well. It's an incredible story and a fabulous game and a wonderful collection. Now, mixing it up a little bit and going into the shooter space, I'm picking Doom from 2016, and this was a bit of a tricky one to pick because there's lots of great shooters for the PlayStation 4, but I wanted to pick one that wasn't just multiplayer focused or wasn't part of a huge, large franchise and you didn't know which way to go. Doom can kind of sit on its own, and it's going to give you an incredible single-player campaign, and there is some multiplayer. It's not as robust as something like Overwatch, or Call of Duty or something like that, but it is really, really fun. It's got great shooting mechanics, which have been streamlined. You don't really have to worry about reloading. The traversal systems in the game are fantastic. The graphics are great. The carnage is disgusting. suitably so. But it's just a really, really fun game, and there's tons of intensity throughout the experience. There are some mysteries and some puzzles to solve as you go. It's not just blast away at everything. It's a stunning homage to the roots of Doom, but it also is an original, fun title in its own right, and absolutely I would pick that up in my first 5. Now, in the role-playing space, there's lots of good role-playing games for the PlayStation 4 as well, and I thought about The Witcher 3, but the one that I'm choosing is an exclusive for PlayStation. It's called Horizon Zero Dawn, which was developed by Guerrilla Games, which had made shooters previously. They had done the Killzone franchise, so this was a bit of an out-of-nowhere surprise that they went in this direction, and it does look like an action-adventure. It has the fidelity and the the beautiful 4K visuals, and it just looks like it's a lot of platforming and traversal when you're looking at the footage, and there is a lot of that in this game, but it is a full-on RPG. You really have to level up. You have to kind of decide which skills to augment and which allegiances to make. There's so many non-player characters that you have to interact with. Incredibly deep and interesting and mysterious storytelling all the way through this game, and it's just a really, really fun escape into a world that's just been so well crafted for us. So there you go. 5 fantastic games that I say should be your first 5 for the PlayStation 4.